You are now tuned into the Off the Push podcast point guard, Derek Lamont. Coming through them screens, hitting them threes, giving you that information that you need. Coming back through, coming off the screen, leading you back door, giving you that information as easy as only I can. What's going on? Yo, we are back. We are back and we are so excited, so grateful, so thankful to be able to be in front of you all whenever you get to digest this content that I got for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, the podcast point guard Derek Lamont, aka D Money, aka the future, aka the top of the mountain. Ooh, that sticky icky. It feels so good to be here. First of all, before we go any further, I just really want to say that this has been a long process to get back. 2024 had its ups, it had its downs, it had its lefts, it had its rights, but we were kept. We are here, and I am so ecstatic to see what 2025 is going to be for the Off the Porch podcast, what 2025 is going to be for your podcast point guard, Derek Lamont, and what the 2025 is going to be for you. Now, anybody that knows me first off knows that I lead in love. So anywhere when I come with this, I'm coming with nothing but sincerity and genuine thoughts and just how I feel about the topics that we bring onto the table. But before we go any further, I would like to say shout out to the 704 Charlotte Bound Show. Shout out to Twan. Shout out to Aries Claire. They're doing their things over there. To C3. To the homie Cody Lack. To the great Tony Dunn. To my brother Cole. Kobe boy, you know how I feel about you. You can't look. If you don't have a G baby, you just don't know what you're missing. And then just, man, these ill skills, man, you don't know what you mean to me. Now, on a more personal level, Jamita Laree, you know who you is. Hey, we back up. You know how we love it. Murchison 3, my kids, hey, trying to make a legacy for you, trying to make you proud. I'm trying to buy my mama a house. Now, speaking of that, let's get to it when we're talking about this is an independent operation funded by me, trying to give you the best content that I can possibly deliver to you. I will never come on here and pander to you. I will never come to you and tell you that I need a certain amount of money for me to try to attempt to entertain you. But if for some reason you like the content that's coming from this channel, please hit that $DEE money 5026. It'll be highly appreciated. It'll be able to help invest into this and make a better product for you. So, family, I was gonna go ahead and get into my main topic, which was gonna be the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, and so forth. But let's go on and get the beans and the potatoes out the way before we sit here and start getting on this steak and so forth. Now, the college football playoffs happened last night, and I was ready for some good football. And the reason why I was ready for some good football because we hadn't got any good football as of yet. Everybody was getting wore out. The teams that had a bye, they said bye. I mean, the seeding might have been wrong. I'm not gonna say that they didn't get the 12 right. I'm not gonna say they got the 12 right. I didn't even have a horse in the race. But the only thing that I really wanted at the end of the day, was good competitive football. I haven't got good competitive football really till right now. Till right now. Let's be quite honest. But shout out to Marcus Freeman. Shout out to James Franklin Jr. Shout out to Penn State. Shout out to Notre Dame. Because outside of inferior quarterback play, y'all fought, y'all banged, y'all claimed. This meant something to you. College sports is always better when it means something. It Whew, about lost myself right there. I'm telling you, I get excited when we get good, competitive. I don't care if it's football, if it's basketball. When I'm watching, unless my Panthers is wearing somebody out, I want a fight. I want some good football. So coming into this, talking to friends and just homies and thinking to myself, like, isn't this really like the ultimate coin toss game out of any of the games of the playoffs? I mean, can we agree with that? Like, I don't think unless you were a devout Notre Dame fan or a devout Penn State fan, or you just don't like Notre Dame, or you're with the rival school to Penn State and you say screw that, whatever your reasoning, you knew that you were going to get two hard-nosed defenses going at each other. You knew that you was going to get some pretty good running back play depending on how the defenses gave, and more than likely the opportunity for great tight end play. But if anybody thought that QB play on a high level was going to be the difference in this game, you hadn't been watching these teams. Okay? See, that Mel Kiper stuff, that pro football focus talk, when they start trying to get them draft grades and do all that, and they're talking about Drew Aller and so forth like that. I already knew that I went in the business of Drew Aller after that Ohio State game this year. I felt that he came in there. I think he's a good quarterback that could probably develop into a great quarterback. But my thing is, that's at the college level. I can't gauge at the pro level yet, like if he where he would be. And that's not really the conversation here. I was about to go on a tangent. Let's stay to business. Now, when we sitting here talking about this college football and everything else, momentum goes into play, key plays, turnovers, good calls, whatever, just like any tournament or playoff game. I'm not covering all this game with y'all right now like I'm some great Notre Dame or Penn State savant, whatever, in this situation. But let's just go to when the game was 24-24. My mind thinks you're going to run that thing out, take it to overtime, believe in us, we'll figure it out. Me personally, that was the route I would have took, just for the fact that your running game had been stout. You had good tight end play within the game. Go out there, line up, get your turn, they get their turn, you get your turn, they get their turn. Unless you felt like you couldn't stop them from scoring. And you can't say that you couldn't stop them from scoring. It won't like this was a high scoring affair by standard of college football games to a degree. It felt good to see some smash mouth football. But when the young man goes out there, throws the ball out there in double coverage and the thing's getting pretty much intercepted, just there was a lot of bad balls thrown. Like I think that's the story of this game. It was a lot of bad balls. No did it. No did it any of that. All right. It was just a lot of bad balls out there. Underthrown balls, overthrown balls, inaccurate balls, just balls everywhere. No did it. But Notre Dame went in a very short amount of time, got themselves in the field goal position where a young man named Mitch Jeter kicks a field goal, wins the game. Notre Dame is going to the national championship. Right now, he should not have to pay for a bowl of chili, a hamburger, a hot dog, a tank of gas, his laundry service, or anything. He is now the king of South Bend. At least till next week. I can run with that. I can take that. I can live with that. Shout out to Marcus Freeman. I was about to give him a whole nother name. I'm giving people identity. I'm putting them in witness protection. Tell how I'm excited to be back with y'all this morning. Oh, off the porch, baby, we here. Hey, so like just a little story here. I hope he don't get too high with me. But my buddy Jake, that we hang out in the Legion chat with, he got about there. I ain't gonna say that he had too many libations. I think that's what they call it. Adult beverages, as we might say. And boy, by the time we got to the end of that game, boy, he had me so entertained. Oh my God. It was just to the point I was like, talk your junk. Talk your junk. That alcohol is flowing. Go ahead, boy. That's Mr. Get him. I'm telling you, shout out to you, Jake. But what on all seriousness, Coach Freeman, you are a leader of men. And one of the things that I thought was great about you in this post game was when they asked you how you felt about being an African American man going to your first national championship, and which I did not know, but I wasn't even like searching for either way, of Asian descent, if I'm not mistaken. So it it just made me feel good when he came out and he said that for a black man, an Asian man, a white man, any race of man, these wins like this opens the door for those men to walk through when a young, competent, capable guy who knows the game of football, knows how to lead men, know how to get them to buy in, getting these kids to fall in love with their processes. And there's a lot of young guys out there. I'm not here to identify them to you, but believe me, there are a lot of great young guys who have revolutionized how you coach and how you develop guys, and they're just waiting on this singular opportunity. Coach Franklin, you had a great season. I give you your flowers, but the history and your story is just now you just can't get there. Hopefully in the near future you can get there. You kind of just got that day late, dollar short type of thing going right now. And that's cool because you're still a great coach. But I would love at some point to see you winning national championships. I remember when you was at Vanderbilt and how you changed that culture. And let's not act like you didn't resurrect Penn State from that dirt of the Sandusky and that Sandusky juice that was just laying all over Happy Valley. Happy Valley wasn't happy. Happy Valley was just, oh, they were mortified. They didn't know what to do. And it took a minute because recruits did not want to go to the land of the sand. You understand that? Most of y'all, if y'all are of a certain age, you know what the Sandusky is. And if you don't know what the Sandusky is, that's why we have Google. And to be quite honest, I really don't want to get into that sick individual. Now, you give me 1 second, I'm going to give you this message, my own ads as per se, and then we're going to start talking about these Carolina Panthers off the porch. Yo. Have you ever in your life ever just sat and thought about, you know what? I just can't get right. You know what? I don't know where my next check coming from. The gas is low. The babies is acting crazy. The husband having a midlife crisis. The wife having a midlife crisis. The grocery store can't even pay. Look, the milk costs about $35. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you the best product in the world, and it's free. Prayer. Pray it out. That's my commercial. It wasn't a good one. I don't care. I got faith. I got hope. And anytime I can break in and tell you to get some faith, get some hope, get something to believe in, I'm gonna tell you, life is so much better when you got something to believe in. And the segue into believing in. How many of y'all believe in the Carolina Panthers family? Ah, Panthers! Hey! How many of y'all believing in the Carolina Panthers right now? Or better yet, who feels better right now? Who feels better? Who feels better? Who? Boy, if you don't feel better, do you got a pulse? So what we're gonna do is this is gonna be how did we get here? How did we get here? If I leave some things out, if I miss some things, I know y'all gonna hit me in the head with it. So let's go. All right. So all training camp last year, all off season last year, all those things when the anticipation is at its height, when all the hope, when everybody's got a chance. When everybody can have Lombardi aspirations and Super Bowl dreams, that only time of the year that a collective teams can feel the exact same way on the status of their team, even if it's a lie. The main thing that we was yelling, we wanted better O-line play. We wanted better O-line play. We wanted better defensive play. We wanted to see Bryce take the next step. A lot of people said they didn't care about the score, so that's not a factor. So out of those three already, 2 out of the 3. 2. 2 out of the 3 already. We was already there. With the additions of Robert Hunt, with the addition of Damian Lewis, there was a synchrony. And what's the name? Yash Human. And that synchrony showed this offensive line changed their offensive line grade just like night and day. Just flip the switch. And first of all, you can't get the best out of a young quarterback, a middle of the road quarterback, a veteran quarterback, an elite quarterback if you don't have good O-line play. If not, he's going to be running for his life and you're never going to get consistent and competent offense. Okay? So let's get back into it. Preseason comes. Preseason comes, training camp and so forth. We all looking for Bryce on the field during the preseason. Can't nobody find Bryce. Bryce. Couldn't nobody. Bryce. Some people still looking for Bryce. But either way, Canella said that he was going to play that last preseason game. All right. He got out there and he was playing second, third string, water boy, gas station attendant, burger flipper. No disrespect to the professions. All I'm saying, them cats ain't in the NFL. Word to you. Word, word, word. Now, we get into the season. And we took a collective beatdown by the New Orleans Saints. And then a very anemic performance by the Chargers. And I'm so positive and I'm so optimistic that I was just on the train that Bryce is going to figure it out. Bryce is going to figure it out. And bam! The man was benched, okay. And Panther Twitter was on fire. Panther social media, like it was going crazy because the battle of the Bryces. And see, if you are not familiar with the Carolina Panthers, see, there is a battle of the Bryces. You got the anti-Bryces and you got the Bryce truthers. You got some that call them the Bryce sexuals, and they don't mean no harm by that. I know some people give my people shots for that, but then you had the Bryce sexuals, and then you got the people like, bruh, dude, they don't want nothing to do with Bryce. They do not want to touch Bryce, and it was probably because of the other guy that was drafted right behind him last year. We ain't talking about him because he's not the focus right now. So that battle starts going on. And so the ones right now who are the anti-Bryces, they're jumping up and down. This is a victory to them. They're thinking, okay, we got the little fella out of here. We're going to be okay. They were ready. And so they was ready to Christian Andy Dalton, their franchise quarterback, for however long they had to, as long as Bryce Young did not have to be on the field. Now, Andy Dalton went out there against the Raiders and he did a little gambling while he was in Vegas, a little blackjack, a little casino with the little slot machines and junking on. For the Panthers that day, we had the 3 cherries and we cashed out. But we was a bad football team. So we was going to come back to reality and, well, on cue, Panther Twitter just went ablaze. And I'm not mad at that. Like, I mean, were you passionate about your team when you got a love for something that technically is bigger than yourself because you chose to fall in love with something that don't necessarily love you back? Boy, you preaching. Let me stop. But it's one day I'm gonna have to really get into the psychology of fandom or figure out somebody smart to tell me like the true psychology of fandom. So if you was on either side of the fence with Bryce at the time, it was just like in my mind, I had a mental picture of like Bryce hanging, like just hanging there, right? And on one side, you got the guys with their little picket signs talking about "We love Bryce, We love Bryce. And then on the other side, you got these cats sitting over here and they were like, let's get him out of here, boo. And they got the pitchforks and the little lamps lit and all that. Don't ask me why. My mind is absolutely TV. I don't know how that goes. I mean, I'll tell you this, it was so fun. It was so entertaining to go through it. And if you had particular group chats with different Panther fans where you had a mix and a conglomerate of it, you could find quite a bit of entertainment. Now, a lot of people always be talking about everything be messy and everything else and all that. Nah, you want to get messy. You want to see grown men get messy. Let them start battling over some sports. But let me quit venturing on. All right, so now we're going through the year, we taking our lumps, we getting hit, and then all of a sudden, just out the blue, just like my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ just knew it was time for Bryce. Not saying that anything happened to Andy because of that, but what I'm saying is just things happen in the way that they supposed to happen. Andy gets into an accident. They're not quite comfortable with putting him back out there. Who comes back out there? Here I come to save the day. Bryce comes in. And then Bryce starts to play a little okay. For a game or two there, came in and, did a little garbage minute here and then got it back. But what we started seeing was the improvisation. We started seeing like the confidence behind the throws. We started seeing him seeing what he wasn't seeing. He stopped holding the ball as long as he was, and it started to make competent offense. You should be happy about this. For him to continue to improve, you should be happy about this. Because this time last year was not what we have right now. A lot of people had a lot of mental strain and disdain from the play of our overall number one pick. People were almost physically ill because our overall number one pick that we also traded a franchise wide receiver and more draft capital for looked like he was not going to pan out at all. Like he was not going to be competent enough to play football. They understood that if he did not get better, that 5 years at a minimum, we were already going to get set back, and we were already set back. Look at God. Look at God. Cause Bryce said, hold my beer, dog. He said, hold my beer. Y'all don't know who I am. I'm B Rabbit. Don't be hating. You know what I'm saying? And Bryce went out there, and maybe it didn't constitute in the W. Maybe it didn't. But you saw better offensive production. I think we offensively what? I don't want to lie about the numbers, but we took a significant jump. In that time, we saw the elevation or a little step more of Sir Chuba Hubbard, which was beautiful for us. And Bryce, I do know now if Bryce has a strong running game and if he got guys there to get open and the offensive line will give him time, he can play good football. But even if the offensive line has a crack, he's learning how to dance and then he's just ushering in Chris Brown and just all over in the backfield until he finds somebody open at this point. Bro, if you would have said this time last year that man had 5 touchdowns and it went off 3 passing touchdowns and the other with 2 rushing touchdowns, you wouldn't have believed me. You would have gave me a urinalysis. You would have called me a bold-faced liar. But here we are. And I have a question to ask you. Are we not entertained? Are we not entertained? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why I'm saying are we not entertained? Because you said, a lot of people say, you want this, you want this, you want this, and you want this, right? Well, I watched that the Panthers gave us this, they gave us this, they gave us this, they fell short here, we're working on that, we're going to go there. And it's a beautiful thing when we get to this point that we can do this because all I know is that look, I got discombobulated for a second. But basically what I'm trying to say to you is that if you don't see the improvement within the Carolina Panthers, if you don't see the upliftment of the Carolina Panthers, if you don't see that the mark that Dave Canellis is making, if you can't see that confidence that Bryce has now is permeating across that locker room, You do not like Bryce Young. You don't want to rock with Bryce Young. And obviously, you have some intestinal fortitude that you didn't want to come out already and say that you don't rock with Bryce Young. But I'm gonna tell you now, because he has shown that he can play football in the NFL, I'm gonna need you for now on. If you got a problem with Bryce's play, you better come with something besides the fact that he ain't got no arm. He's too short. He can't do this. He can't do that. He won't do this. He won't do that. I don't want to hear none of that because he honestly quieted a lot of doubters. Because see, the difference between a doubter and a hater is, see, a doubter can be persuaded. A hater will not allow you to persuade them. You understand what I'm saying, people? This is a time that we have to be thoroughly excited. And one of the parts of the titles I had was right, wrong, same time. And the reason why I say right, wrong, same time, because one of the probably the most polarizing figures since Cameron Newton has been Bryce Young with these Carolina Panthers, because it's been such a love-hate relationship, and it seemed like it was almost like the Bloods and the Crips. You had to take a side. You couldn't be neutral, or you was a traitor to both sides. Let's be real with you. Let's call it what it is. We are some toxic people. We need prayer. Literally, let's be real. Let's real. We need prayer. We need prayer. We need a whole lot of it. Cause doggone the way we react to some things and how we think about some things and everything else. Yeesh. But yo, I mean, I don't get mad at it because passion. Passion is what I'm about. Passion is what I is and the love is what I'm about. And to see that them guys have gotten this far has made me thoroughly, thoroughly happy. Thoroughly happy. And if you want to get in the comments, I want you to tell me, how did what feeling did the Carolina Panthers give you at the end of the season? What did you hang your hat on? What was your favorite highlight? What was it? Like, because there was so many things that are going on. I think it still for me might be the Jatavion Sanders hurdling the rascal type situation. There was like we had a lot of young things. Now, I'm about to take a second and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about just some of the players that made an impact for the Carolina Panthers this year. Off the porch. Family, we back to Off the Porch podcast. So yeah, like I was saying before, I had just stepped away on that second. Won't you? Can you tell me in the comments what was your favorite time of the Panthers this season? Who was the player that made you the most excited this year? Who was your MVP for the team this year? Who could be your most improved on the team this year? Just give me all your thoughts about what you thought of the 2024 Carolina Panthers. It would be highly appreciated. So, for me personally, I was very excited that Xavier Leggett is, I think, maybe he was more of a project than maybe we advertised him as. But I'm more than excited for that man to be on this team. I thought that there was a lot of great flashes to build on. Now I just think he needs to get his body together. And once he gets his body together, that he'll be able to, sustain some of these little nagging injuries that he has. And then that's when he'll be able to really focus on the football. So shout out to Xavier Leggett. I think you had a very good year for the Carolina Panthers. My heart goes out to Jonathan Brooks. I know we're gonna go back and forth on Jonathan Brooks probably for the next little bit. Should we have played him? Should we not played him? And hindsight's 2020. We're not gonna delve into that. That's not something I ever really wanted to get into because there's never a right decision until it's over with. So, but shout out to Jonathan Brooks. We pray for his healing. Wallace. Travion Wallace was banged up a little bit, but I love some of the flashes we saw from him. Charles Smith Wade. We took out that seventh round pick, turned it into Mike Jackson, which I'm really hoping that we resign him. physical cornerback, smart cornerback, will help out in the run game if possible. I just think he's a good piece to be in that cornerback room with J.C. Horn. And let's talk about J.C. Horn, Pro Bowler. Pro Bowler. Great play this year. I really love, and the most important part, people, he stayed healthy. He stayed healthy. That is great. Like, just one great sign for us that one, he was healthy. We hadn't had that the whole time he was been here. Now, mind you, ain't gonna hear me brag on this defense. When we broke records, records for being bad. All types of records, you name it. They ran on us, they scored, or they just did what they wanted to us. Really, we got bullied in there before by the fashionable defense, which then comes to the junk of Evero, EJ Evero. Sheesh. Boy, I tell you, I don't know how you keep a job after such historical stats and how you keep a job like being that bad. I don't think I could go to my place of employment and be that bad and still have a job. But in that breath, I would never, ever, ever wish or speak on somebody losing their job. I understand that much. But he do need to find another team. I need you to take your hands off of my team. Thank you, EJ. And the only thing that I issue that I have with EJ, Mr. Avero, is just really scheming. And I mean everybody, if you are a true Panthers fan, you have heard this from probably 15 to 18 to 20, and you've probably said it 1,000 times over. That at the end of the day, this dude's scheme really doesn't fit us. One, our talent just ain't at a level to be dominant in that. And then also, when you playing your corners 4 and 5 yards off the wide receiver in the red zone and you can't stop the run. I can run through them holes. My mama can run through them holes. My grandma probably could have ran through them holes. God bless her soul. Defensively, we was a joke. But the elevation of Sir Dave Cadell, Mr. Positivity, my guy, my spirit animal. We kind of I like to call him and Bryce the Flexi Sexy Package. No diddy. That's what I call that little dance. Y'all ain't know that little wrist twist with Bryce, that's the Flexi Sexy dance. And I believe him and Dave have been doing the flexi sexy dance in private in the locker rooms for the last 3-4 weeks. Cause I saw that thing up there, that statistic saying I think it was like the last 3 games of the season. Bryce 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, looking like a competent, skilled, great quarterback. Everything that people said he wasn't. Once again, like one of the titles I used, right, wrong, same time, are we entertained? Because if this junk don't get you going and get you excited, see, you might be wondering, because see, a lot of people know me, it gets sermon time with D Money. So where the sermon time with D Money is gonna come in is the reason why I threw any of that information on you. Any of the reasons why I did any of that was for the simple fact that I wanted to get to this point right here. I have yelled and yelled and yelled, family, that we were gonna be okay and that we was gonna turn it around. And if you ain't with us now, you're not welcome to the parade. And I stand by all that. But what puts a smile on my face is that we're closer to the parade than we were this time last year. Way closer. You can't convince me no different. We got competent quarterback play. We had strong running back play. We saw Adam Thielen still be Adam Thielen. We saw Xavier Legette. We saw Jalen Coker. Shout out to the undrafted free agent Jalen Coker. I might have to do just an episode of him on just on his own. But those guys that stepped up with Jatavion Sanders, with Tommy Trumbull towards the end of the year, Dave Canellis made this offense do a total 180, and I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. Now, what's the goal for this year? to get the defense better. We might not fill every hole in that defense this offseason. Maybe it's not even the term. We won't. But we can become better and we can work some things out. Bryce showed that if we can keep a defense that could just even stop the common cold, we can be in a game. But right now, we can't. The boogies are flying all out the nose. I don't know if what's going to be the Mucinex on defense. I don't know what we can get for NyQuil on defense. But all year long, our nose has been running. We've been looking like old Roscoe on Martin with that piece of snot hanging off his upper lip because we can't plug any holes and stop the run. That's just real talk. And I'm not going to keep harping right now on what was negative right now because I'm looking at the future. But let me tell you what I believe. I believe that we're going to take that eighth pick and we're going to pick a dog. Bro. I believe that we're going to go in that second round and we're going to pick another dog. Bro. I think we're going to go from the third and so forth, just picking dogs. Bro, bro, bro. That's what we're going to do. All right. I think that I truthfully, honestly don't think Ajero's going to be there by the week one, but I could highly be wrong. I don't have no information about that. I see these defensive coaches already being fired over here in Charlotte. It could go to anywhere with that. But basically, if you haven't had hope, because that was the question that I got last summer was a lot. How can you have hope? What can you give us? What positivity that you got? Well, if you've been watching and you saw this progression and you saw this elevation and you see the future of domination loading. The future of domination is loading. We don't know. I don't know what we're gonna call Bryce. I know we don't need to call him no Slim Reaper. He don't even like that. I'm still. I don't know. It's just so exciting. I'm at a loss for words. And people, I promise, this is gonna get better. I'm just so excited. One, for what the Panthers have done and what they're gonna do. I'm so happy to be back with you all. Um, I'm just gonna spell out that I'm not gonna say we're going to the playoffs next year. I will not. I wouldn't remotely say that. There's nothing been laid on the table yet for me to say that we're gonna do that. But what I can say is last year was 2 wins, this year's 4 or 5 wins. I think we can get to 7 or 8 wins if we keep the work in. Canellis can keep them to buying in, and that health gets on our side a little bit. Now I know there's going to be a lot of playoff action. I wanted to put that on this episode, but I think I'm gonna do that on a separate episode. I don't like to blend my Panthers in with other teams like that, but please, I want y'all to really reach out to me and tell me what did you like about the Panthers this year? What did you outright hate this year? The guys that was impacts to you, guys that was disappointments to you, and where you see this team, where you want to see this team. If you have logical, intelligent ways of how to fix it, put it in the comment bar. I want to get this engagement with y'all. I want us to be able to talk just like anything. So, like I said, this is an independently ran organization funded by me to bring you this entertainment when I can. I hope that every single one of y'all have been entertained by me. Like I said, this will get better as it goes on because failure is not an option for me. I'm going on to bigger and better things with this situation. Like I said, shout out to all the Panther content creators. Shout out to all the Panther content creators. Shout out to 704 Charlotte Bound. Shout out to C3. Shout out to PNP. Shout out to Black Cat. Shout out to the Black Cat Panther podcast, and shout out to all of them. 4-Man Rush. There's probably quite a few of them that I'm missing. When you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, C3 Diesel Skills throws some very, very good spaces over there on the X, formerly known as Twitter. Check them out. There's good conversation over there. I end up sneaking in there quite a bit. For some reason, they can tolerate me. I don't know how they got down. Boy, they're blessed by God to be able to tolerate me, who you tell. But either way, I just want to say for all of y'all in California, my prayers, my thoughts, and my heart goes out to you And I just want y'all to know that even though it's dark now, and even though it seems like you might not have no way, you lost your home, you lost your items, you lost all this, just remember you were kept. Those angels of mercy and protection have been around you. You can get things back. But if you're healthy right now, if you are healthy right now and you are able to evacuate, that's nothing but a blessing. And I am so happy that if you are safe, that you are safe. And for the people that's trying to evacuate that are in harm's way, you are in my prayers. Reach out to whoever you have to reach out to. Take help from wherever you have to take help from. It's dark now, but the sun will shine in the morning, people. Now, to everyone else, if nobody has told you that they love you today, I love you. If nobody's told you that you matter today, you matter. And if there's something that you want to do that has gave you trepidation, has held you back, and you've had fear or intimidated by, there is no other day than the day to jump off the porch, baby. I love every single one of you. I thank you for taking the time to listen to me and just whoo, I can't wait for a new season. I'm not just going to be talking Panthers on here, but I felt for like me coming back, for me ingratiating back into these YouTube streets, into this community or whatever. I felt that it had to be this episode. It had to be something Panther. We had to keep pounding. We always gonna be pounding. We gonna stay pounding. Pound, pound, pound. Pound, pound, pound. Pound, pound, pound. That's what I'm talking about. We gonna keep pounding, all right? All day, every day, anyway, however. I just love every single one of you from the bottom of my heart. Like also, please hit the like and subscribe button. I want to get to the point that I can start doing lives with y'all. I am so far away from that. So please like, subscribe, share, go in the comments, say, hey, D, hit me with a yo, anything you want. Just know I love every single one of y'all. And if you ain't with us now, you ain't welcome to the parade. Yeah.